And welcome to Mike Ferry TV. It is Mike Ferry. It is Monday the 17th, and we're recording this short program today on Friday prior to the 17th because Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, as some of you know, we're doing our annual production retreat here in Las Vegas, Nevada. We have a little bit smaller crowd because of some of the issues with COVID that are going on today. We're going to have 1,500 to 1,600 attendees starting Monday morning instead of our normal 2,000. But we're going to have a great 1,500 to 1,600, and I've got a great event planned if you're there. So one of the requests that I often get, and it's kind of fun when I get it, and I quite honestly never pay much attention to it until it was brought to my attention by my staff. And the request is, Mike, you have a lot of little expressions that you use all the time. You have a lot of little expressions that are really very inspirational, kind of force you to take action, a person taking action, or maybe take a better look at yourself and what you're doing. Could you share with us some of those expressions? So we started making a list, Sabrina and I, and quite honestly, I was surprised. The list has 55 of these kinds of expressions. And I'm proud of the fact that people are interested in hearing some of the messages that I deliver and some of the unique thoughts that I have put together over the years. So I thought I would go through 7 or 8 of them with you today, just maybe to trigger in your mind the fact that you can always do a lot more business than what you think and believe. And the only competitor you have is the person in the mirror that is stopping you from doing more. So if we change the thought pattern, if we change the thought process, we can, of course, change some of the results. So I randomly took, I think, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of these 55, and I thought I'd share them today. And then over the next few months, I'll share a few more. And if you like them, we'll send you a copy of these thoughts. So I wrote down, here's the first crazy thought that I've been saying for years. We have to learn to embrace repetitious boredom if we expect to raise our levels of productivity. Selling real estate is exciting when you take a listing. Selling real estate is exciting when you get a buyer to buy. Selling real estate is exciting when you negotiate a contract between the two. There's nervous moments in all of those. And it's really exciting the day of the closing when the buyers and sellers exchange keys and you folks get paid. But most of the time, the business is rather boring. It's tedious. It's boring. You know, you're working on a file, you're managing some of the leads you've generated or purchased off the internet. You're prospecting for business. You're going through the process of, administration on a transaction. Some of these tasks become very boring. And the hardest part of what we do in real estate is to embrace the boredom, because it's those activities that probably are driving us all a little crazy that lead to the results we want. The second thing that I've been saying for probably 25 years, and I never pay much attention to it, is the fact that you can't lose things you don't have. You can't lose things you don't have. I wrote down, stop being upset when somebody else gets a transaction or somebody decides not to buy or sell with you. You didn't have a closing, you didn't have a contract, you didn't have a check waiting because of the closing that didn't take place. So why are we getting so upset about it? If you didn't have it, you can't lose it, which means then sometimes we win, sometimes we don't win. Notice I didn't say sometimes we lose. Sometimes we win and sometimes we don't win. But it's the repetitious boredom and accepting the fact that I didn't have anything, so therefore there's no loss, so therefore I should continue. I wrote down the next one, which is kind of fun. The seller always believes you can sell the home until you show up and open your mouth. I've said that in our listing seminars for years, and I've watched agents write it down, and then they're kind of halfway through writing it on. They go, whoa, wait a minute. What do you mean by that? Well, if we lack a professional presentation, if we lack understanding the sales process, if we lack asking questions to get feedback to guide a seller or a buyer through the process, whatever we say is probably not going to make any difference. So, they're sitting in their house before you get there, and they're saying to each other, I wonder if this person can do the job. I wonder if this person can get our home sold. I wonder if they can get us the price we want. I wonder if they understand our home is much nicer than the neighbors. And then we all walk in and we start just talking and talking and talking, and we're not saying anything of consequence, and it just proves that they think we can sell the home until we show up. I wrote down, and many people don't like this point, if it's not your style to be enthusiastic when you're talking to people during your lead generation time and or you're making a presentation to a buyer or seller. People want to be around people that enjoy what they do. People want to be around people that are enthusiastic because enthusiasm always draws a person into you. And I have agents tell me all the time, well, Mike, it's not my style to be enthusiastic. So I think about that. All right, over here is an agent that is naturally enthusiastic. And a lot of you are naturally enthusiastic. Here are agents that absolutely do not understand the smiling and being energetic is a virtue that can be developed. And over here are people that say, I'm never going to be enthusiastic. Well, I don't know which one of the three you possibly are. But I know one thing, that people are more likely to be attracted to the person that demonstrates the fact that they enjoy what they do, they enjoy the conversation, they enjoy being around people. Years ago, I said some agents are going down the tubes without touching the sides. Some agents are going down the tubes whoosh, without touching the sides, which means they've never committed to becoming a great salesperson. They went through the process, as all of us have done, of getting the license. We've gone through the process of interviewing some brokers and chosen a broker we think is the best fit for us. And then the broker and the broker's training and maybe some of the Mike Ferry events are teaching us what to say and what to do, and we just refuse to do it. And I don't understand that kind of thinking, because the turnover in our business, and in 2022, it is going to be the highest we've ever seen because we have the most agents we've ever seen in the history of our industry. I heard a report that was someplace like 1.87 million just in the U.S. We bought a mailing list in September from NAR and came back with 1.8 million names on it of real estate salespeople. And more than 50% last year did not do a deal. We don't want you to be an agent whoosh, that goes down the tubes without touching the sides. The next one, of course, is kind of a fun one. I've said it for years, and some people like it, and some people smile, and some people are offended. The Mike Ferry sales system works. The question is, do you? Because the truth is, the goal is to make 100,000 or 75 or 300,000 or 500,000 based upon the work ethic you have, the schedule, your skills. Would anybody pay you that much money with a salaried job working in a sales department of a company? And the answer is no. You have to put in the time, you have to put in the energy, you have to develop the skills which give you the confidence. The next one, of course, more than ever, we're in the business of talking to people, period. We're in the business of talking to people. And then I wrote down, are you talking to enough people to make your business work the way you want to? Mike, I just don't like people. This is not the business for people that don't like people. This is not the business for people that don't like talking to people. But I understand if you don't know what to say, it's hard to start having conversations, which is why I've said for years on Mike Ferry TV, download the scripts, practice and role play, practice and role play, practice and role play, learn what to say to build the confidence to go out and talk to people. Because if you just talk to people about real estate every day, you're going to get leads, especially in the market we're involved in today. And the last thought of the day, money is a measuring stick of the service we give to others. The higher the quality of the service we extend, the more money we get in return. The higher the quality is the service you're offering, high quality service. And I think for most of you, you're working on it, you're trying to achieve it and make that happen. So over the course of the next few months, I'm going to share some of these crazy Mike Ferry-isms with you, and they're designed to not only be informational, to be educational, and to be a little motivational all at one time. So here we are today on January 17th. We're through the first half of the first month of what is going to be one of the biggest years in the history of real estate, 2022. Yeah, there's going to be some price adjustments, and yes, there's going to be some rising prices, and yes, there'll be some interest rate changes. But for those of you that are doing the job, it's going to work, and it's going to work well. And we're glad that you're part of watching Mike Ferry TV, and we'll see you next week. Thanks for today.